Shabbat shalom, everybody. This message, Mishpatim, was so powerful. Bless you. Genos nofen emes, sneeze on the truth. Such a powerful message. You know, it sometimes feels like I'm repeating over and over the same message, but God repeats the same thing over and over. It's just like when we tell our kids, when we're trying to teach our children something, we have to tell them over and over and over to do exactly the same thing.
But every story is like that.
Yeah.
Remember Shmata up, Shmata down? Remember that?
No.
It's the same story, but it just has a different way. You know, you can say it in a different way.
Exactly, a different application. But, you know, it's frustrating because there's so many messages that are getting out and reaching so many people today, but the simple message of the Torah is being, I sometimes wonder, am I teaching the right thing? You know, and then I have to go back and say that, but this is what even our Mashiach and our Rabbi Yeshua taught. He always brought us back to the Torah. He never wanted to bring attention to himself. If you really read the things about him, he wasn't looking to bring attention. He would he would tell people not to say what he's, you know, to put him up on a pedestal. He always, even when we prayed, he says, pray to our Father in heaven. You know, and we tend to make gods out of human beings. We try to do it with Moses. We try to do it with so many people in the world today. And the very first commandment is about, it reminds us of slavery. He's the God who took us out of slavery, but we are to have no other gods. And the world is bent on making other gods. And this is why we keep getting into so much trouble. These 10 commandments, I cannot express it enough. When we don't keep them, we suffer. When we keep them, we prosper. It's impossible to tell people who haven't received a touch from the God of the universe, the sheer shocks of joy that can go through us when we know that God is listening and that he's with us. And he shows us in the smallest ways how he's with us. By the way, Mauricio, how is Evelyn? How is your wife?
Oh, well, she's improving. But honestly, I have to do a lot of things here at home because, you know, she can handle a lot of things. And so I've been praying for her but I had to leave early today because I need to cook. So prepare the table.
Yes.
So but you know, it's a time that honestly I was thinking about, oh God, according to our advice, we are in the month of Adar, so supposedly we need to increase our joy, and I've been thinking, how can I be with more happier than ever in this situation?
Exactly.
But you know, I've been thinking about this, and honestly, I just can say that God is protecting us, and He's caring about us all the time. And the joy starts by just believing and trusting God. I mean, because even though the outside the situation is not good, probably, but I need to know that He is my salvation. He is caring about me. And no matter what happened, He's always there, and we have a emunah. So that's something that I've been dealing with. So
you're not alone in that. We all have how to
Thank
balance
you.
joy and sorrow and sadness.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, you know, I wondered, what was it like in the days before the Second World War? What were the people experiencing? Because my parents went through that. And now I know this is the way it is. We're in the midst of a war, and we don't know if it's the last war, but we're in a war, and it's a spiritual war as well as a physical war. So
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened to Israel on October 7th.
exactly.
It was Simchat Torah, a
Right.
very happy day.
Exactly.
And then suddenly happened something horrible and terrible.
Yeah.
But it's not that the joy depends on situations.
Right.
It depends on my trust in him.
Right.
Okay. And it's not to be laughing. No,
Exactly.
that's not really joy. It's to be
No.
confident. It's about that.
Right.
So and honestly, and thank you for the message. It was really a good message, Peggy. And especially because you use the expression that Palestine's or movements anti-Israel they are using today. It's very sad that inclusively on sports the anti-Semitism is going.
Yes.
Yesterday, I was reading that the basketball team
In
of
Ireland.
Israel, they were against Ireland, and the Ireland didn't want to play with Israel.
Yeah, they refused to
Yeah.
shake hands with the Israeli.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's very sad to see that. So, and the problem is that people is believing on lies because honestly, for example, they are not saying nothing about how Israel is defending every day, and they are under rockets and missiles and drones and whatever. But they are not destroying Israel because God is protecting them, but they have prepared also themselves to protect themselves. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, hundreds of people have had to leave their homes now in the north because of
Yeah.
Hezbollah. They don't realize how many people have. It's like all of a sudden, we're told you got to get out of your homes and you just leave, go somewhere. I wouldn't know what to do, where to go.
Yeah, and this is about restitution, okay? And because that produce balance in the world, okay? And people do not understand that Israel is not taking vengeance
No,
on. No, they are protecting themselves.
they're defending themselves. Right.
They defending their families.
Yes.
That's what they're doing, and apparently they are destroying all the Hamas, but sadly Hamas is mixed with civil population, and this is what it takes time. But if, for example, if Israel wouldn't be Israel, that would be Russia or I don't know, China or to another country. Because, for example, right now, people is not saying about nothing about the government Chinese who is destroying different mosques in China. They are destroying them. They are prohibiting the Islamist, the Muslims religion on China. And nobody is saying nothing. Why? Because it's not Israel, and that is not happening in Israel. So, but in regarding to the message, Mishpatim, there is something interesting because in this portion is the famous phrase, "We will do, and
We will obey.
then we will obey." Okay,
yeah. We will hear and
we will hear it. So, how can I do or how can I obey something that I don't know what will be? That is trusting. Okay.
Right.
And for giving this example, my son Santi, yesterday he started to play basketball. He doesn't know really how to play basketball. Okay. But it was something interesting that when you have a trainer, you need to obey the trainer. even though what he's saying is not good. Okay. And then we went to at night. We went to play basketball to a park close to my house, and I was explaining him. Did you hear your trainer? And he said, "Oh, do this and do that." And probably you feel a little bit strange because you seems that you are dancing, like ballet, okay? But there is something interesting about this. What he's trying to explain you is that this movement will help you to be a better player. Because right now, as you are doing this exercise in this entrance, whatever, well, you have problems because you are trying to make some points and you cannot because you don't have this ability. So then he started to make a ballet, like this. Okay. So, but then he realized, and sometimes God is like doing like this to us. Then you will, in time, you will understand why I'm saying to you that this is better. Because in certain level, we don't have the experience or we don't have the enough wisdom to see beyond our eyes, okay? And then someone who is in upper level than us is telling me, hey, do this, do that. And why? Well, today's world, and that is the very sad part of this world, that they are trying that you understand first to do something, and instead that you do and then understand why you are doing that thing, okay?
Right.
So in this is the process, okay? It's very difficult, and that's why probably at the end of this message, okay, it says about a slave. He doesn't want to leave his master, but then it says that they need to open a hole in his ear, and honestly, why they are opening an ear, a hole, right? Is because it's like to say, hey, Shema, okay, you have a brain, you have a heart, but you that from what you hear, the Torah is not going to your brain, and you are not acting according to the Torah, because the first commandment is, I am the Lord who take you out from
Slavery.
the land of slavery. Okay, so why you is your desire to be a slave?
Right.
When I said I want that you be free. Okay, right. So I will open your ear physically so that the Torah can enter to your physical sense and then go to your brain. So and that's exactly and at the end you were talking also about who is the angel, okay?
Yes, right.
And because yes, there are many different opinions. For me, who sent God to Israel? To Moses. Okay, so Moses was the angel, because the angel is not the one who has wings. No, is not an spiritual. It's someone that people can see sometimes. Okay,
Right. That's
so
why I thought it was
yeah,
Joshua, because Joshua would lead them into the land. Moses couldn't go in. Yeah.
yeah. But Moses was the one who really was sent from God
Yes.
to put the Torah inside of all of them. And then was Yehoshua who enters them to the land. Okay. But there is something, for example, that if they say, oh, Metatron, for example, is the one. No, it doesn't say that, nothing about the Torah. Okay.
No, they say Jesus was the one.
Or Jesus is the one, so
Yeah.
it's not there. So the angel of the Lord, honestly, could be anything. Okay. And I mean, when I say anything, it could be a person, a group of person, a nation, could be a situation, could be an emotion, could be different kind of things that makes that the Lord uses in order that his purpose must be fulfilled. Okay. So that's what I want to tell. So, and thank you for the message, Peggy.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mauricio, always for your input. And thank you for going to feed your family, because I wouldn't want them to starve. And tell Evelyn we're all praying for her. My friend's husband had exactly the same thing last week, and he went for all kinds of tests. They couldn't find anything. So we hope that
And also for Pablo, because yesterday Pablo had a diarrhea. In the whole night he was at the bathroom. So it could be a virus also.
Right.
I mean, we don't know exactly. By the way, Evelyn was very grateful for your greeting. Okay. He said, oh, that's so cute. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Well, I think we'll finish early today, because I've got to go somewhere. So I want to thank everybody for being with us for our Shabbat service, and have a blessed week. And I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and
Shabbat Shalom.
thank you.
Shalom.
Thank you for being
Shalom.
faithful to our community.
Okay, thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bless
Shabbat
you.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.